I once tried to explain to someone the difference between how I experience the internal voice that guides and the internal narrative that is based on our experience within the world. It was initially hard to articulate because what was natural to me was not for them. So there was some disconnect to what they could understand. Regardless of what I experienced, we all carry a voice inside of us, a running commentary. It's like a narrator that helps us to make sense of what we see, feel, and experience. It's that voice that helps us to understand the world and our movement within it. The thing that we need to be aware of is that it's okay to question if that voice is keeping us fearful and small or guiding us to expand and evolve. Welcome. This is the Shift Your Perspective series where we discuss viewing everyday life from a different perspective. Today's topic, questioning internal narratives. As I was writing this episode, I received a moment of clarity of how to describe our internal narrative and how our way of thinking plays a big part in how we experience this life. When we are in our head, we think. We narrate our life and we talk ourselves through interactions with people and situations. However, depending where we are in our personal evolution, there's a difference in how we talk to ourselves. Some of our internal narrations are based on what we experience. Others can be so quiet and subtle that we barely recognize that it's guiding us from a higher perspective. The perspective that knows before you've done anything. So as I think back, that statement right before the intro was phrased as, it's the voice that helps us to understand the world and our movement within it. I was guided to label this as the higher or inner guidance voice. Now, if I rephrase that same sentence as, it's the voice that helps us to understand the world and our place within it, this would be more like the internal ego voice. One word in each phrase changes the whole meaning. Place and movement. The word place seems fixed, stagnant, and where you are assimilating. The other, movement, comes with an energy of flow and change. And this is a key distinction. There is a narrative that only understands itself from the point of view of worldly experience, and therefore it is limited. This is not a bad thing. It's just a limitation. However, this limited perspective enables us to believe that there is nothing more than our experience and the experiences of the people around us. We don't always see the possibilities, the hope, and the creativity of things. So this internal way of thinking can make us believe we are stuck, confined, or limited. And then there's another internal voice that challenges us to step out of our box or comfort zone and to do something we haven't done before that will actually benefit our life. This voice encourages us to expand, evolve, and move. Let's take this scenario. A situation occurs in your life where someone at your job really gets on your nerve, or perhaps you don't feel appreciated or appropriately paid for the work efforts that you've put in. And you just thought, I need to leave this place. The thought that came after that is almost like those cartoons and movies where you see the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. And this is not to say that there's one is good and one is bad. It's just to clarify the perspective that each may have. So you think, I need to leave this place. And one voice may say, you can't leave. You're not good enough to find something. Or the market is too bad for you to find a job right now. With that thought, you may feel depleted, sad, angry, and maybe even hopeless. Then you get another voice or a glimpse of an ideal job to pop in your head. And just for a second, you feel hopeful that leaving is the right thing to do. Now, If you stay with that thought a little longer, you begin to think of ways to leave and still be able to afford your basics. Your mind starts to be creative and you really think of all the options you have based on your skills. It doesn't let you think that you can only do what you've always done. You begin to question and to dream about what you really want to do, and you start to work towards it. In both ways of thinking, your whole way of being shifts. One way made you think you had no option, and the other opened up a plethora of possibilities. One made you feel stuck, and the other made you feel hopeful, to the point your whole demeanor and outlook of the job and the world changed. You no longer view the job that you're in like it's something you had to be in, but as the job before the next one you're about to get. And this is why questioning our internal narrative matters. Why every now and then we have to check our thoughts. Because not every thought is guidance. Not every belief is wisdom. And not every inner voice is telling the truth that helps us to see our full potential. Some narratives teach us to fear, to stay small, to avoid discomfort at all costs, while others challenge us, stretch us, and invite us to expand beyond what's familiar. Having this awareness of what we tell ourselves is about listening more carefully. It's about asking ourselves, is this thought protecting me or is it limiting me? Is it rooted in truth or in the conditioning I never chose? And sometimes the narrative becomes tangled, conflicted, or exhausting, especially when thoughts loop, when clarity fades, and when the inner dialogue feels more like opposition than guidance. And when this happens, that's often a signal to take a pause, to step back, to seek clarity through reflection, support, or help beyond yourself. So questioning our internal narrative isn't about judgment, it's about honesty, about recognizing that the voice in our head has a history, and that history deserves examination. We are allowed to outgrow old stories. We're allowed to challenge inherited beliefs. We are allowed to rewrite what no longer serves us. We are also allowed to grow, create, and move in a way that enables us to evolve to be a better citizen, human, and spiritual being. And when we tap into that internal voice that moves and inspires us, it can seem like possibilities and options are limitless. Growth begins the moment you notice that not every thought deserves agreement. Some deserve compassion, some deserve curiosity, and some deserve to be released. This is the shift from assuming the voice is right to asking if it's aligned, from reacting automatically to choosing consciously. Clarity doesn't arrive all at once. It unfolds as you learn to listen differently. And sometimes moving forward begins by questioning the story you've been quietly telling yourself.